Top stories tonight. President Tinubu swears in Kekere-Ekun as new Chief Justice of Nigeria. President Tinubu to deliver nationwide broadcast on October 1. Court bars INEC from releasing voter register to Rivers Electoral Commission ahead of local government poll. MSF reports record 25,000 sexual violence cases in DR Congo. Glad you're here. I'm Felicity Ezewike. Justice Kudirat Kekere-Ekun took the oath of office as the 23rd Chief Justice of Nigeria on Monday, with President Bola Tinubu reaffirming his administration's commitment to upholding the judiciary's independence and sanctity. Justice Kekere-Ekun, the second female CJN in Nigeria's history, was sworn in following her confirmation by the Senate. According to a statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Anonuga, Tinubu underscored the pivotal role of the judiciary in safeguarding Nigeria's constitutional democracy. The President reiterated his government's dedication to improving judicial officers' welfare and working conditions.
The new Chief Justice of Nigeria to continue to uphold our reputation of being an ethical, fearless, and honest jurist. The Nigerian judiciary needs a leader with these qualities at this time, and I have no doubt that he will set the pace for others to follow. It is my administration's full commitment to preserve the sanctity of the judiciary. While we may have reasons to intervene as complementing component of the same government, the government under my watch will also be mindful of the clear line demarcating the two of us. We will never interfere or abuse the relationship that exists between us as separate organs of government.
President Bola Tinubu is scheduled to address the nation in a nationwide broadcast on Tuesday at 7 a.m. as part of events commemorating Nigeria's 64th independence anniversary. This announcement was made by the President's Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Anonuga, in a statement released on Monday. He urged all television and radio stations, as well as other electronic media outlets, to connect to the network services of the Nigerian Television Authority and the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria for the broadcast. The federal government also announced that this year's Independence Day celebration will be a low-key event in light of the economic challenges faced by millions of Nigerians. The government has also declared Tuesday, October 1st, 2024, a public holiday. Meanwhile, former presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Atiku Abubakar, has called on political leaders and stakeholders to take decisive steps to protect Nigeria's democracy. In his Independence Day message on Monday, Atiku stressed the need for a unified effort to reclaim Nigeria's democratic ideals from looming threats of oppression. He noted that the 64th independence anniversary is not only a time for celebration, but also an opportunity to honor the resilience of Nigerians who believe in the nation's potential. Atiku expressed concern over the declining credibility of the electoral process, blaming the ruling class for undermining its integrity. He also called for a strong, united opposition to safeguard a brighter future for the country. To discuss this, we're joined by public affairs analyst Moses Odika. Moses, it's good to have you join us tonight. Is Nigeria teetering on the brink of a one-party dictatorship? If yes, what's the implication for the country's democratic future?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Nigerians. Well, unfortunately, like the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar said, yes, we know Nigeria should ordinarily be a multi-party democracy, but the current APC government has marshaled up plans to disorganize opposition political parties from every single ward in Nigeria up to the national level. That is why you see the PDP, that is supposed to be the main opposition political party. You have a minister of the government of President Bola Tinubu struggling in making all manner of inducement to ensure that the PDP does not form a common front. You also see it in Labour Party too. You see they are creating a proper fashion. Abure, his tenure expired, he's still hanging on. So when you look at all these things, you find out that there is hardly any opposition political party in Nigeria today that is speaking with one voice. And that is exactly what the government of the day wants. And mind you, this is not politics. All over the world, in some other places, you have what they call shadow government. Opposition political parties are always there. They're always on there watching what the ruling government or ruling political party is doing and directing the minds of the people. Because you know what they say, that when you're on the table, you observe table manners. If you're in the government, if you're a member of the APC, even if Nigeria becomes worse than it is, you are not expected as a member of the APC to say anything otherwise. So Nigeria and Nigeria democracy depends on the opposition. But unfortunately, these persons in government today who claimed ab initio that they were Democrats, we can see that they are working against every single tenet of democracy.
All right, let's look at his submission that, you acknowledge that there is need for opposition in every climb. And Atiku has emphasized that there is a need for the opposition parties to unite and reclaim a democracy. You highlighted yourself again, the crisis that is bedeviling some of these parties, the LP, the PDP, and other smaller parties. How feasible is this goal in light of the current political space in Nigeria?
Well, it's very, very feasible because that is the only way forward. You realize that Nigeria, what we have today is not sustainable as a political system. There is no section of the country, the economy that is working today. So definitely all the opposition political parties must join forces together to ensure that Nigerian democracy is retrieved from these people. Because what we have today is a certain person, certain cabal, they have hijacked the system.
Well, Moses, isn't it intriguing? Isn't it intriguing to you that the people that are in the ruling party were one-time PDP, and half of the people are in the same? They cross carpets, ceaselessly. What is the guarantee that if you have another opposition, perhaps get lucky and gain some momentum, that the same drama that we are seeing that's playing out will not replay itself again? Like we just in a loop moving forward. What needs to change beyond the parties coming together as a stronger opposition? What needs to change in the new dynamics of the opposition party to make it viable and long-term?
Yes, what needs to change is when you instill internal democracy, when political parties obey their own constitutions, that is when we'll begin to see the change. However, what the current APC government is doing is to make it impossible for the opposition political parties to thrive in the first place. Yes, you rightly said that several members of the ruling APC were once either in PDP or some other political parties, AD and the rest of them. But the interesting thing is that why those things happen, why those people were in the PDP then, the opposition was viable enough for them to join the opposition parties, for them to join the ruling parties. But in a situation whereby the current government is trying everything within its whims and caprices to ensure that opposition political parties do not thrive, it is undemocratic and it poses existential danger to our democracy and to our country, Nigeria.
All right, Moses, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you for speaking with us.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
Let's tell you that the Coalition of Civil Societies in Edo State has pulled out of the planned October 1st nationwide protest. At a press conference in Benin City, 10 representatives of the group cited the recent gubernatorial election in the state, which has raised concerns and potential consequences. The coalition expressed concerns about the timing of the protest, given the sensitive political climate in the state, as they warned against escalating tensions and potential unrest.
Considering the state of uncertainty in the air and the probable tension over the recent concluded off-cycle Edo State gubernatorial elections, the Coalition of Civil Society Organizations, led by core leaders and stakeholders of civil society organizations in Edo State, is calling on all key actors and stakeholders involved in the planned October 1st protest to exercise caution and sheath their swords.
For those of you who are in Edo here, you also know how little things triggers insecurity in the state. And so that's why we have come out today, to appeal to us that please, we are not saying don't come out on October 1st to protest for selfish reasons. We are saying it for us in Edo State as a people, because October 1st is not conducive for us. So we appeal to us, please, let us refrain from October 1st protest for us as a people in Edo State. We will do the protest some other time when Edo is calm, when our people are okay with the transition that just happened in the state, and when we no longer have any aggrieved person. We can all come out with one voice when we know that no politician will hijack it, no person who is angry will want to come out to vent the anger wrongly. We can all come out at that point to shout about this hunger and all that we need to protest. I appeal to Edo people, please. But if you sincerely have to come out on that day, please do it wisely, do it peacefully. Do not destroy any government property, because it is not for government, it is our property.
While it is our fundamental right to express our displeasure, we also feel that the October 1st feast for the nationwide protest is not a proper time for us here in Edo State, considering the tense political atmosphere. We don't want our civil society activists to lead a protest that would degenerate to a riot or that would be hijacked.
Coming up, court bars INEC from releasing voter register to Rivers Electoral Commission ahead of local government elections. Details after the break. Do stay with us. If you've just joined us, you're watching Tonight. A reminder of our top stories. President Tinubu swears in Kekere-Ekun as new Chief Justice of Nigeria. The president is to deliver nationwide broadcast on October 1. Court bars INEC from releasing voter register to Rivers Electoral Commission ahead of local government poll. And MSF reports 25,000 sexual violence cases in DR Congo. Thank you for staying with us. A federal high court sitting in Abuja has stopped the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, from releasing voters' register to the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission for the purpose of conducting the October 5th, 2024 local government elections in the state. The court also barred the Inspector General of Police, IGP, and the Department of State Services from participating and providing security for the conduct of the local government elections. News Centre's Emmanuel Bagudu tells us more.
Judge Peter Lifu issued the order while delivering judgment in the suit brought before him by the All Progressive Congress challenging the legality or otherwise of the processes leading to the conduct of the upcoming local government elections in Rivers State. The suit was argued on behalf of the APC by a team of senior lawyers comprising of Joseph Daudu, Sebastian Hong, and Ugo James Onoja.
From the judgment of the court held that all condition precedent that ought to be fulfilled must be complied with before the elections in Rivers State can be conducted on the 5th of October 2024. And in making this pronouncement, the court held that INEC, that is the first defendant, is bound to ensure that the National Register of Voters that includes Rivers State must be updated, and that same can only be released 90 days before the conduct of the elections. And also very fundamental from the judgment of the court is that the court struck down provisions of the Rivers State Electoral Law, Section 60 of that law that seeks to oust the jurisdiction of the court from depriving aggrieved parties from exercising their constitutional rights before the court. And in respect of all the preliminary objections that were raised, 9 of them in number, the court resolved all in favor of the plaintiff.
For our own part, we came as the Rivers State chapter of the APC to state that the persons who brought the matter to court were not the proper persons, and we asked, because the Rivers State chapter of the APC had already briefed us to withdraw this matter, that he has no consent of the real party members of the Rivers State chapter, on behalf of whom it was purportedly filed. So, but the judge has ruled otherwise, so I already have the instruction of my clients that this matter be tested further on appeal.
Justice Peter Lifu also held that the update and revision of voters registered by INEC ought to have been concluded 90 days before an election date can be legally and validly fixed by law. In Abuja for News Central, I am Emmanuel Bagudu.
In the meantime, the Rivers State Governor, Siminalayi Fubara, has assured that the local government election in the state will proceed as planned on October 5. He made this assurance during an inspection of an ongoing road project in the state. The governor also paid an unscheduled visit to the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, where he was received by officials led by the chairman, retired Justice Adolphus Enebeli. During their discussions, Enebeli assured Fubara that the Electoral Commission is prepared to conduct the election.
Election will hold on the 5th of October. I'm aware that RISEC told me they already had an order mandating them to conduct the election on the 5th and the security agencies to support them. So I think with that order, the election will hold. I might not be a lawyer, but I know that there is something they call first in hand. And since they have the first in hand, we will give them all the necessary support for that election to be conducted. And it will be one of the best elections ever held in Rivers State, free and fair in this state. Thank you.
News Central has successfully held several editions of the Town Hall series in various Nigerian cities over the past months. These events sparked robust discussions on topics such as the Domusu fire outbreak and landmark demolition in Lagos, the communal conflict in Jos, the Okwame tragedy in Delta State, and the aftermath of the End Bad Governance protest in Abuja. However, the edition in New York made a strategic shift, focusing specifically on electoral rights and the potential power of the diasporans in shaping governance through voting. With keynote addresses from distinguished personalities such as Abike Dabiri-Erewa, CEO of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Dr. Obiageli Ezekwesili, former Minister of Education and renowned technocrat, as well as several influential figures.
We've heard as a challenge, key core challenge around this conversation is the legal implications that has to do with our constitution. And we have a lot of amazing legal experts in diaspora who should be involved in this campaign. And one thing that I would also want to emphasize is about legacy. A lot of us might be comfortable here being in diaspora, but we also have to think about the future of our generations to come back home, and that's why we need to be much involved.
Diaspora communities often engage in civic participation both in their host countries and their countries of origin. This dual participation can manifest in voting, advocacy, or mobilizing resources to influence policies and support community development efforts back home.
Away from that, the Northeast Development Commission has engaged the Nigerian Society of Engineers Maiduguri branch to discuss the urgent reconstruction of collapsed bridges across the 6 states of northeastern Nigeria. Following severe flooding that has wreaked havoc in the region, the engineering body and the NEDC gathered to deliberate on sustainable engineering solutions to restore vital infrastructure and enhance connectivity. News Center's Umaru Kirawa completes the report.
Another worry for the people in the 6 states of Nigeria's northeast: the collapse of bridges and dilapidation of road networks due to devastating floods.
Disaster has cut our road, that is from Maiduguri to Gamborungala, is a trunk A road that is leading about 4 to 5 neighboring countries, that is Cameroon, Chad, Niger, Central Africa, up to Sudan. I think the federal government have to liaise with those affected countries. Maybe they will going to have a dialogue with them. Maybe how they will going to contribute and construct this road.
This engagement focuses on immediate reconstruction plans and long-term infrastructural improvements.
What we wanted is we need a very quick assessment of the destruction, especially of the bridges across the northeast. We believe the bridges are very important when we talk about roads and other things.
The discussions highlighting the importance of engineering expertise in rebuilding efforts to foster regional development and resilience against future disasters.
We have discussed in a lengthy way in order to see that we are going to mobilize our engineers to the sites to see actually what are the root causes and what are the measures to be taken to prevent the structures from failures.
As of today, I think nobody will give you the exact number of bridges, but I know each state has their own problems, because probably, who knows, as we're talking now, a bridge is going to collapse, so it has collapsed already. So whatever bridges are collapsing in the northeast, we are going to look at it and see what needs to be done as quickly as possible.
From Yola through Madagali to Maiduguri and Damaturu to Bauchi, Gombe and Taraba, farmers, businessmen and motorists struggle with the nightmare of the road networks. Addressing the devastating impact of recent floods on transportation in northeast Nigeria on time will help put smiles on the faces of millions and rejuvenate economic growth. In Maiduguri for News Central, Umaru Kirawa.
The federal government has vowed to return all girls trafficked out of the country back home. This was as the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission handed over 8 more girls trafficked to Ghana who have been rescued back to the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons. The Executive Director, Officer of NIDCOM, Abike Dabiri-Erewa, assured the girls that they will be rehabilitated and reintegrated back into society.
We're talking to your states and we'll ensure you are rehabilitated, and then hopefully you tell your story so that others will not fall into the same trap One thing is consistent. They would lie to you that if you take oath, you go mad. It's a lie. You know? So as you come back, we'll ensure that you're okay. Proper rehabilitation and all that with NAPTIP and your state government. So I think we'll all thank God that you're back home. That's the good news about you, but the bad news is that there are still many over there, and we have to get them back.
The importance of location-based marketing cannot be underestimated due to its many benefits, according to experts. Hence the need for marketers and industry leaders to invest in it as a marketing strategy. This was the position of marketing professionals and industry experts present at the Location Marketing Awards recently held in Lagos. News Center's Omolola Ololade has more in this report.
Marketing professionals in today's business world face a myriad of challenges as they strive to capture the attention and loyalty of consumers. With a highly competitive landscape, marketers strive in ensuring brands navigate through a maze of competitors, changing consumer preferences, and evolving digital platforms. It is on this premise that the Location Marketing Awards decided to provide an avenue for professionals within the location-based marketing and out-of-home advertising industry to share insights, explore innovations, and celebrate achievements.
The concept of location marketing is based off on the fact that the technological influence has revolutionized the way out-of-home advertising is being practiced. The industry has 3 stages, of which we are the 3rd stage right now. They started off first from what is called outdoor advertising to out-of-home advertising to location marketing. So that is where the name location marketing came from. And the award is to recognize people who are already pushing to that futuristic play we are playing in the industry.
Thank you so much.
And the winner is Brand Eye Media, that's Jameson Barrowman. A round of applause.
This year's event, which brought together industry leaders, innovators, and visionaries, created the opportunity to celebrate excellence, creativity, and the impactful use of location-based marketing strategies and technologies.
I believe the marketing sector is a very key sector in the Nigerian economy. Definitely the contributions to the economy cannot be underrated, definitely. I believe there's a lot of potentials, and with the right stakeholders and innovations, definitely we can definitely soar higher than the ceiling.
For Nigeria, there are a lot of players now. Comparing where we are in terms of number of players in the industry and how it used to be, it's a lot. It's almost like an exponential growth. So I can only see from now on, we adopting several innovative ways to express ourselves, like I said earlier. So from now henceforth, I believe we would see more impressive executions from brands and clients.
Industry experts, however, believe awards such as this remain catalysts for change, while playing a crucial role in elevating the standards of the marketing industry in Nigeria, showcasing the incredible talent and ingenuity that exists within the industry. In Lagos for News Central, Omolola Ololade.
Still ahead, MSF reports record 25,000 sexual violence cases in DR Congo. Details after the break. Do join us again.
Moving away from entertainment, let's take a look. Moving away from entertainment, let's take a look at what's trending as the hashtag 40% of Nigerians take center stage, following an update that the Minister of Power, Bayo Adelabu,
Business News in association.
Let's continue in Central Africa. Medicine Sans Frontiers has reported a record-breaking surge in sexual violence cases in the Democratic Republic of Congo, with over 25,000 victims treated in 2023. In a statement released on Monday, the humanitarian organization said an average of more than 2 victims were treated every hour, an unprecedented figure. Most of the cases were recorded in displaced camps in the eastern provinces, particularly near North Kivu's capital, Goma. The region has been mired in conflict for decades, with ongoing clashes between Rwanda-backed M23 rebels and the Congolese army since late 2021. The persistent violence has placed hundreds of thousands, further worsening the humanitarian crisis. Gabon and Equatorial Guinea faced off Monday at the International Court of Justice, hoping to resolve a dispute over the sovereignty of the 3 islands in potentially oil-rich waters. The squabble is over the 30-hectare island of Mbani and 2 smaller low-lying islands, Kokotia and Konga. It dates back to 1900 when colonial powers France and Spain signed a treaty in Paris setting out the borders between the 2 countries. Gabon argues that a later treaty signed in 1974, the Bata Convention, gives it sovereignty over the islands. But Domingo Esono, Vice Minister of Mines and Hydrocarbons of Equatorial Guinea, disputed the validity of this document. He told the court Gabonese officials suddenly produced this treaty at a meeting in 2003, taking Equatorial Guinea by surprise.
Estamos convencidos de que la sentencia de la Corte ayudará a nuestros países a resolver sus disputas pendientes sobre soberanía y fronteras, sentando una base sostenible para que sus relaciones florezcan. En agosto de 1972, Gabón, haciendo uso de la fuerza, invadió este territorio bajo soberanía ecuatoguineana, ocupándolo ilegalmente desde entonces. El documento presentado por Gabón en mayo de 2003 tomó a los miembros de la delegación de Guinea Ecuatorial completamente por sorpresa. Ni uno de ellos había visto ni oído hablar de ese supuesto convenio. Además, el documento presentado no era un original, sino tan solo una fotocopia no autenticada.
Let's go over now to our business desk for today's business stories.
Business news in association with Money Master PSB, the easy way to master your money.
In business, the World Bank has approved $1.57 billion in new funding for Nigeria to support health, education, and infrastructure projects. The package includes $500 million to enhance health and education services, $570 million for improving primary health care, and $500 million for power and irrigation projects aimed at boosting resilience to climate change. According to the World Bank, these projects will focus on improving outcomes for women and children, with a particular emphasis on addressing Nigeria's complex healthcare challenges. World Bank Country Director for Nigeria, Dr. Ndiame Diop, emphasized that investing in health and education is crucial for improving future employment opportunities, productivity, and earnings for Nigerians, particularly women and girls. The funding aims to help tackle the country's pressing human capital and environmental challenges. Libya's eastern-based parliament agreed on Monday to approve the nomination of Naji Mohamed Issa Belkacem as governor of the central bank in a move that could help end a crisis which has slashed the country's oil output. In a televised session, the House of Representatives also approved Madu Muftar Rahil Barassi as his deputy. The approvals could remove the main political obstacle to solving a crisis over control of the Central Bank of Libya and oil revenues that have sharply reduced Libya's oil production and exports. And finally, Angolan billionaire Isabel dos Santos lost an appeal on Monday to overturn a court order freezing up to £580 million, approximately $778 million of her assets, in a lawsuit at London's High Court. Dos Santos, Africa's first female billionaire and daughter of former Angolan President José Eduardo dos Santos, is being sued by Angolan telecoms company Unitel. The company secured a global asset freezing order against her in December. The Court of Appeal rejected her challenge to this decision. Dos Santos, who has faced corruption allegations in Angola for years, denies the accusations, calling them part of a political vendetta. The lawsuit involves loans made by Unitel to her Dutch company, Unitel International Holdings, UIH, in 2012 and 2013, which were used to acquire shares in telecom companies. Dos Santos owns and controls UIH. And that's a package in business news at this time. Thank you for watching. I am Perpetua Fasami Peter.
Business news in association with Money Master PSB, the easy way to master your money.
Up next, there's sports.
Sports Update, brought to you by Corn Oil. Corn Oil, we go the extra mile.
And in sport, the alternate chairman of the just concluded FASU Games, Professor Adinike Boyo, has praised the event, hosted by the University of Lagos and Lagos State University, as a resounding success, citing outstanding conduct from the athletes and officials. Boyo made this statement at the closing ceremony held at the Lagos State University Sports Complex in Ojo, Lagos.
The athletes have competed, they have united, and then they have socialized with themselves. And at the same time, we have never had any challenges in terms of athletes having problems, or at the same time, concerning official, there's never been any negative reports. So it has been I can say 98% successful.
The 11th edition of the African University Games concluded with the American University in Cairo, Egypt, leading the medal table with 46 gold, 28 silver and 8 bronze medals. Lagos State University finished second with 28 gold, 30 silver and 26 bronze medals, while UNILAG secured third place with 25 gold, 23 silver and 40 bronze medals. And now to basketball. After weeks of intense basketball action, the stage is set for the final 8th stage for the 2024 Nigeria Women's Premier League, scheduled for Lagos in October. In the Atlantic Conference in Enugu, tournament favourite First Bank emerged as leaders with 13 wins and just 1 loss, followed closely by MFM and Dolphins, who both won 11 games but recorded 3 losses. Bayelsa Wales secured the final spot in the conference. In the Savannah Conference, played in Abuja, Nigeria Customs dominated with 13 wins and a single loss. They will be joined by Titans, Royal Aces and El Warriors. The final 8 will determine this year's champion in Lagos. And out of football, the FIFA Disciplinary Committee has sanctioned the president of the Cameroonian Football Association, Samuel Eto'o, with a 6-month ban for attending matches of Cameroon's representative teams for breaches of Article 13, offensive behavior and violations of the principles of fair play, and 14, misconduct of players and officials of the FIFA Disciplinary Code. The sanction was imposed in connection with the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup round of 16 match between Brazil and Cameroon, played in Bogota, Colombia on the 11th of September 2024. The ban imposed on Eto'o prevents him from attending men's and women's matches involving FECAFO teams of all categories and age groups. Eto'o received the notification Monday, 30th September, the date which the sanction comes into force. And to wrap up sports update, Basketball Hall of Famer Dikembe Mutombo has died at the age of 58 after a battle with brain cancer. Mutombo's career spanned from 1991 to 2009 and featured 8 All-Star appearances and 4 Defensive Player of the Year awards. According to the NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, Dikembe Mutombo was simply larger than life. Hailing from the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Mutombo played college basketball at Georgetown and was selected 4th overall in the 1991 NBA draft by the Nuggets. And that wraps it up on Sports Update, and Favor Itwa.
Sports Update, brought to you by Corn Oil. Corn Oil, we go the extra mile.
In a surprising turn of events, social media influencer Martins Otse, popularly known as Very Dark Man, has publicly apologized to renowned human rights lawyer Femi Falana, SAN. The apology follows a series of derogatory remarks the influencer had made against the senior advocate. The apology was delivered during a House of Representatives Joint Committee hearing on financial crimes and reformatory institutions held on Monday. Very Dark Man clarified his stance, stating that he does not believe Falana was involved in the alleged bribery scandal linked to popular cross-dresser Idris Okuneye, popularly known as Bobrisky, the economic and financial crimes, and the Nigerian Correctional Service. Initially hesitant to testify in Bobrisky's absence, the influencer eventually spoke after being persuaded by his lawyer. During his testimony, Very Dark Man revealed that the viral audio implicating Bobrisky in a bribery scheme had been provided to him by a creditor whom Bobrisky allegedly owed money.
It's time to get the money back, according to the story the guy told me and the evidence I saw. He told Bobrisky he wanted the money to complete his building in Lagos, so that was why he borrowed him the money. So it's now time to pay. From the receipt I have here, he sent him a message. Bobrisky refused to respond. Sent him another one after like a few days. Bobrisky also refused to respond. When Bobrisky eventually responded, Bobrisky said, I'm going to give you the money in, I think, September. So September 1st, the guy reached out to Bobrisky again. Bobrisky refused. And the next thing that followed it was blackmail. He said, I'll tell them that and you are kissing me. So the guy felt very, very somehow because he felt like he was not going to get his money. God so kind, there's Very Dark Man that has the platform to call out the people that owes money and they will pay. So a friend of mine who is very popular contacted me and he said, VDA, see what's going on. And I said, okay, no problem.
My colleague has the rest of entertainment stories.
Entertainment news in association with Glow Unlimited.
Tonight on Entertainment News, Julia Roberts is set to receive the honorary Caesar at the 50th Caesar Awards, taking place at the Olympia Hall in Paris on February 28, 2025. France's Caesar Academy, in announcing the award, highlighted her iconic role as Vivian Ward in Pretty Woman, for which she won a Golden Globe and received an Oscar nomination. The Academy also praised her versatile career, from romantic comedies like My Best Friend's Wedding and Notting Hill to powerful dramas like The Pelican Brief and Erin Brockovich that later earned her the Academy Award for Best Actress in 2001. Julia Roberts is not only a movie star but also a cultural icon whose influence reaches far beyond her performances, said the Academy. They also recognize her philanthropic work, including the role as UNICEF ambassador, support for humanitarian causes, environmental advocacy, and campaigning for women's rights. Julia Roberts joins past honorary Caesar recipients such as Christopher Nolan in 2024, David Fincher in 2023, Kate Blanchett in 2022, Robert Redford in 2019, and George Clooney in 2017. Chris Christopherson, the country music legend, songwriter, and actor, has passed away at the age of 88 at his home in Maui, Hawaii, surrounded by family. Christopherson wrote iconic songs such as Me and Bobby McGee and Sunday Morning Coming Down, which were popularized by artists like Janis Joplin and Johnny Cash. In addition to his musical success, he was an A-list Hollywood actor, starring in films like A Star is Born and Blade. Christopherson's contribution to country music, alongside peers like Willie Nelson and Johnny Cash, redefined the genre with lyrics that blended folk and counterculture influences. He was also a member of the supergroup The Highwaymen. Despite the success of his music and acting career, he remained politically outspoken, which at times affected his popularity. A former U.S. Army captain, Christopherson left a potential military career behind to pursue songwriting in Nashville. His collaboration with Johnny Cash played a pivotal role in launching his music career. He retired from performing in in 2021 but made occasional appearances, including one at Willie Nelson's 90th birthday in 2023. That's all on Entertainment Tonight.
Entertainment news in association with Glow Unlimited.
That's all we have for you tonight. But before we go, let's take an odd look at some of the major stories. President Tinubu had sworn in Kekere-Ekun as new Chief Justice of Nigeria. President Tinubu is to deliver a nationwide broadcast on October 1. And court bars INEC from releasing voter register to Rivers Electoral Commission ahead of local government polls. We also brought you news that MSF reports record 25,000 sexual violence cases in DR Congo. Would like to hear from you. Please send your eyewitness reports to the number showing on your screen, or you can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV, and on YouTube. As always, thank you very much for your company. Have a good night.